Okay, everyone, welcome. Let's dive in today. We're looking at something really interesting, RiseBookz.com. Now, our sources paint this picture of, well, more than just another website, right? They call it a digital sanctuary.
Right.
Yeah, a place designed to, feed the soul, maybe help folks find a deeper sense of purpose. So we want to unpack that.
Exactly. And it's not just about what RiseBookz is, but I think why something like this is popping up now. What gap is it trying to fill? That's what the sources seem to suggest. We explore this need for spiritual and emotional growth.
Right. So the mission for you listening is to really pull out the key ideas here. What's the vision behind RiseBookz? What makes it different? And, how does it actually work as this digital haven they talk about? Okay, so let's get right into it. What is RiseBookz? The sources are pretty clear. It's more than just a website. They talk about it being a growing community, like a gathering place for writers, readers, thinkers.
Like-minded people.
Yeah, exactly. And they have this shared mission, it says, to uplift, inspire, and support each other on these journeys of growth, spiritual, emotional, intellectual.
And that connects directly to its core purpose, which the sources describe as illumination, helping people, and I'm quoting here, discover paths of hope, awaken the soul, and align one's life with the divine purpose that, God has for them.
Okay, illumination. That's a strong word. And who's behind this vision?
Well, the sources point to Father Chadi Ibrahim. He's identified as a Catholic priest, but also a counselor and a spiritual mentor. So RiseBookz is framed as like an extension of that work, a digital sanctuary, they call it, where you find practical wisdom meets heartfelt support. It's that blend.
Right, practical wisdom. And that brings us to this really interesting part, how they mix tradition with, well, today's tech. The sources talk about a seamless blend of timeless truths and modern technology. They even mention using digital tools, including the latest advances in AI, to create books that are apparently both creative and deeply meaningful. Yeah, and they credit a Mr. George for the technical side, for actually building the platform, making it accessible and welcoming.
So the tech side, what's the deeper significance there? It's not just about being modern, is it?
No, I don't think so. If you connect the dots in the source material, it seems the idea is that this technology lets the transformative power of faith reach people anywhere, anytime. Whenever they need that bit of encouragement or inspiration. The AI part isn't spelled out in huge detail how it works exactly.
Right.
But you get the sense it's about maybe streamlining things.
Right.
Or perhaps personalizing the experience, making these potentially deep spiritual ideas feel more accessible, more relevant right now.
Removing barriers, basically.
Exactly. Taking away those obstacles to finding this kind of support.
Okay, that makes sense. Leveraging tech for reach and relevance. But let's circle back to that word sanctuary. Why that specific term? It sounds very intentional.
It definitely seems intentional. The sources explicitly state that the word sanctuary evokes a sense of safety, refuge, and peace. A sacred place for rest, renewal, and direction. So calling RiseBookz a sanctuary isn't just flowery language. It's stating its purpose, to be that kind of space online in a world that's so noisy and demanding.
Yeah, tell me about it.
The idea is to offer a digital spot for quiet strength, a place to breathe and refocus.
Okay, a digital refuge. So then what kind of books are we talking about? If you go to RiseBookz.com, what are you actually going to find there?
Good question. The sources describe the books as being crafted with love and intention. That phrase stood out. They're meant to be inspiring, soul-enriching works. The goal seems to be sparking curiosity, building resilience, empowering people, adults and kids, to live with meaning.
Okay, so inspiration, resilience. What kind of content specifically?
Well, it mentions a mix. Stories, reflections, prayers, and practical guidance, all aimed at helping readers reconnect with God's presence and love in their everyday lives. The aim is fostering spiritual awakening and encouraging people to embrace their unique path, their calling.
So it sounds pretty broad then.
Yeah, it seems so. The sources mention titles for spiritual guidance, personal growth, or uplifting stories for your family. A really key point they make is how the books blend timeless wisdom from scripture and church teachings with contemporary insights.
Making it relevant.
Exactly. Making faith feel accessible and relevant today. And these aren't just, books about faith. They are written, the sources say, with the intention to inspire transformation, to awaken those deeper longings, offer practical tools for intentional living, and encourage people to walk boldly on their path.
Practical tools. I like that.
Mm-hmm. And they even call out specific resources for parents, teachers, mentors, people looking to nurture children's faith and resilience. So it covers different life stages, different needs.
Got it. A holistic approach then. So for anyone listening who's thinking, okay, this sounds interesting, how do they actually engage with RiseBookz?
Well, the most direct way is just to visit risebookz.com, browse the library, see what's there. It's described as a growing library, so presumably new things are added.
Right.
But it's also positioned as more interactive than just shopping for books. If you're a writer, someone with that passion for soulful literature, the sources suggest RiseBookz is a potential platform, a place where your voice can be heard.
Okay, so there's an opportunity for writers too, and for readers. Is it just about reading the books?
It seems not entirely. They mention community features, things like signing up for newsletters, maybe joining discussions,
Oh, okay.
participating in initiatives designed to help you grow spiritually and emotionally. It definitely points towards building a community, not just a bookstore, that shared journey idea again.
Right, so it really loops back to that initial idea of it being more than just a website. You know, it really strikes me, thinking about our sources, that in a world that feels so full of noise and, frankly, distraction, we probably do all need these kinds of sanctuaries, places for quiet strength, for inspiration.
I think that's the core message, isn't it? RiseBookz is presented as aiming to be one of those places, a digital sanctuary, yeah, but one built on the foundation of faith, hope, and love, as the sources put it.
So we definitely encourage you to check it out if this resonates. Explore risebookzit.com, see what speaks to you. And maybe, share it with others who might be looking for something like this.
And perhaps, as a final thought to take away from our deep dive today, just consider this. How might a digital sanctuary like RiseBookz help you personally? How might it help illuminate your own path, awaken your soul, and maybe help you step more confidently into whatever your unique purpose might be? Something to ponder.